Hello friend, let's learn about how to write relative CSS selector with parent. So like we have written CSS selector, we were writing for this element, right? In the previous lecture, if you remember, when we were writing this, so we have seen that it was forming uh, title. With title we were writing, it was finding two matching node, right? But if we have to make it unique, then we'll have to uh, do some magic here. Basically we'll have to find out a unique parent with respect to which we will write a CSS selector for this element. And here we are not getting any like unique attribute. I won't suggest to use href attribute because it has forward slash, and sometimes it also change value also change, so avoid using such kind of attribute. Then title we have tried, but it is finding more than one matching node. So let's see some of any parent which looks stable and unique, right? So these elements, which is the immediate parent, doesn't look like good because class value is pretty long. So we'll check the next one, which is ul. Yes, so this looks little better than this one, so we will try with this element. Okay, to write the CSS selector with respect to any parent, so just click on that element, and here if you see that, so basically it is something like first we will have to write the CSS selector for that parent, and then from that we will traverse to that child. So here you just add a space here and type hashtag, so it will give you the ID value of this one. Select this element and add a space. After that, write CSS selector for that element for which you want to write the CSS selector, and now press enter. So if you see that this is one element matching node. So if you remember that in previous lecture we have learned that space is the space is a function in CSS selector which is used for descendant, like for this one, this element. So if you add space between them, between this selector and this selector, it will find the selector for this particular element. Okay, and if you see that there's a trick, like if you just press delete the values, you will learn that like, okay, what all things are possible when it's not getting the wrong element, like when it will be invalid CSS selector. And if you click on this here, if you want to learn more about CSS and XPath functions, so you can click on this particular element button link here. It will take you to that page where you will learn more about CSS selectors and XPath functions. Then let's take more example about the parent element. Let's say we have to write an CSS selector for this password field here. Okay, so open here selector sub, start typing input tag name, and then any of the attribute you can take. Let's say name we'll take. Here it's finding 3 matching node. Okay, now we will look for the parent element, any of the parent element which could be the unique one. So if you see that, let's try this one. Okay, the immediate parent of this, so we'll add a space here. Then class looks like here, so class is there, we can try with class and add a space. It is still finding 3 matching node. Then we'll go one more up, level up, space form group dot sorry, this one, you will have to select that particular element over here to get the right drop down value. From group is add space, is still 3 matching node. Then we'll go to this parent dot, select this element, add a space, sorry, dot here, remove this dot, press enter. 2 elements is still matching. Then we'll have to go further, one more level up, to see which parent could be the unique one for this particular element. So likewise we will have to keep going up, and you can remove this in between values, in between parents which are not unique, and press enter. You see that we have sorted the value, and of course you can make it unique as well by looking for some element which could be the unique one. And let's try for this element here. Now space, sorry, here dot group elements space add. Here you will have to add dot still two elements. So likewise, like you will have to keep going one level up to find out the unique elements over here, and you can remove the space in between. So let's try one more, form area, and here class looks static, so we'll check with this login area space still two matching node. So likewise we will have to traverse a lot, and you can anytime in between you can remove the values, and also you can try with like some other attribute by adding more attributes in that conditions. So that way you would be able to write. So this I showed one like where you can not easy to find out the unique css selector. Here it takes a lot of time. If you just turn on this selectors hub dynamic automatically generating feature, you will see that if you inspect this particular element like the password field, this is so simple, like it gives you immediately you can write the css selector this way. So in place of like name, if we would have used the placeholder, it immediately we would have written the css selector. So this is another way, good way. Like here if you because I wanted to give you guys the example of like writing the css selector with respect to parents, so that's why I showed you. If you could have used this one, immediately you can get it. So we have seen the example of writing css selector with respect to parent. In the next lecture we will see how we can write like different axes like adjacent, child, immediate, child, etc. That we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.